This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Hey, it is time for another edition of the LowcoSports Lowdown live here on a Friday morning. Beautiful Friday morning, Wes. Shaping up to be a great weekend, and it's been a great week. We've had all kinds of stuff going on. It felt good to it was a little chaotic getting back into the swing of things after, being on spring break heritage mode, but getting back into the day-to-day grind. But it was great to get back out there and see our high school teams playing and competing and getting ready for the playoffs, and some of them getting into the playoffs. Even we've gotten into the lacrosse playoffs already. You've gotten out to a couple of games, and we've got one at home tonight. May River gets to host tonight against Bishop England because Bishop England has sanctions and cannot host a playoff game. So got the scoop on that. I was a little perplexed by that at first, but now it makes sense. So May River will be at home tonight, the boys, and hoping to be joined by Brooks Van Esselston in a little bit to talk about that. But unfortunately, the road has already ended for the Hilton Head Seahawks, but they did have an outstanding season for the girls, and then the boys are headed up to AC Flora tonight. So, you got out and saw a little bit of it this week, right?
Yeah, I went to see both the girls and the boys teams. Great season by the girls. That was a very strong win to start off the playoffs against Academic Magnet, and very impressed by the compete of these girls. A lot of veterans stepping up. Maddie Massey had a nice game, as well as Lily Friday. A lot of these girls are young. They're going to be back. So Ashley Ames will be a big loss, losing her as a senior, but a great young core of this team that most of them will be back for next year. So I'm excited about the future of this girls lacrosse team. They've had a nice run these last few years. They've been probably by far the best girls team in the Lowco these last few seasons, but I'm sure they're having higher expectations now. They want to go deeper in the playoffs, but they're laying a solid foundation, and a lot of those strong players will be back. And a shout out to congratulations to junior goalkeeper Rel Stracco on 100 career saves. They had a big celebration. Coach called a timeout after she made that 100th save in the opening round game, and they made a sign. They'll celebrate over on the bench. A really cool touch there, but well deserved. Not easy to get to that milestone, and the limited time you have to play high school lacrosse. Congratulations on that. And so 13-3 win over Academic Magnet, but then they fall short 13-5 at Riverside. So excellent season for the Lady Seahawks on the lacrosse field. And then the boys still alive. Absolute dominant performance. They were up 12-1 or some. Yeah, it was absolutely lopsided after that first quarter.
Yeah.
And they kind of rode that momentum the rest of the way. Ended up being Beaufort 20-5. I mean, they've got some exceptional players, especially on that forward, on the offensive side. They got some great goal scores. You look
that
up and down
that trio of attackers are pretty tough. They're with Saba, Fielding, and Thibodeau, and they're all kind of different.
Thibodeau, yep.
So they give some different looks, and they take what the defense gives them. And I think I see Brooks nodding his head in the green room. So maybe we'll get Brooks in here to talk a little bit more about the Seahawks and about the May River Sharks. Welcome to the show, Brooks Van Esselston. I think he was eavesdropping in the green room and going, "Yeah, they're tough to handle." What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Not much. How are you doing?
Doing well on a Friday morning. You're outside where it looks beautiful, and you get to host a playoff game tonight. So I know you're excited. Sharks taking on Bishop England in the tank, and talk to us a little bit about. Obviously, the last time we talked, you'd just been named a National Merit Scholar, and we got caught up on where you were. But tell us a little bit about this season so far, and your chances tonight against a really good Bishop England team.
So season finished up with Bishop England and James Island as our last region games. So finished those up, which happened to actually be the two teams who played in the playoffs. So that was kind of ironic.
Yeah.
But good finish to the season. A lot of seeing more development out of the players, and we saw for the first time playing teams that were a lot better, and then going back down teams at our level, and then good teams again. Just the improvements we had made. Because sometimes when you play a couple of really good teams in a row, you're improving, but you don't always see it. And so it's good to reset, have a bit of spring break, then come back to practice and see, okay, this team's a lot better than we used to be. We've improved a good bit over the season. Against Bishop England, that was our tough, probably one of our closest games this year. We were up 3. They came back. They started off the game up 3-0. We battled back. We were up, and they ended up winning by 1 at their place. So it'll be a pretty good game for us at home. Team's definitely excited to play them. It should be a good matchup.
Come out to the tape tonight. It's going to be an electric atmosphere, and how awesome is it to play in front of the fans, play in front of the Lowco crowd, you get that home game.
Oh, it's awesome. It's definitely exciting for us because it's the little things. You know how the field is going to be with lacrosse, the way we shoot. We know the ball is going to bounce. I've played on that dirt 50 times every day in practice for 5 years. You know how the dirt is. You know certain spots that are good and certain spots that are bad. You know the balls are going to be – at some fields, you have to run 20 yards to get a ball after a shot. We know it's going to be right there so we can play fast the way we like to. We're probably going to have refs that we're used to that we know, okay, you can do this, you can't do that. For a team that plays physical like us, knowing that this will be a penalty, we cannot do this, it's a pretty good advantage when you go somewhere and you don't know. And the first time you find out is when you're playing man down for a minute and a half. I think those little things help. And then obviously having people we know cheering for us, having our family there, having our friends there to support us, and warming up on the field, getting ready. We're ready for practice every day, eating a meal in your school cafeteria, just all little things that you don't think about that just makes you think about less and only worry about the game.
Not having to ride a bus for 2 hours is also I mean, that's like the one you talk about, but you just mentioned like 100 other things that are advantages to being at home too. So all those little things go into that home field advantage, and I think that's definitely a feather in your cap tonight, and knowing that you played them head up on the road. You've got a winnable game, and it's just going to come down to execution. So, but let's talk a little bit about that Hilton Head team too, because we've already had you on the show once. We don't want to give them short shrift, and we knew you would be generous about them because they played you guys really well. They have had a terrific season, and I saw you nodding your head when we were talking about that trio of attackers. Man, they're pretty diverse and all pretty unselfish and willing to take what the defense gives them. But I'm eager to, kind of hear your assessment of them and what makes them so difficult to defend.
Absolutely. So Brady Saba, Bill Felding, Sam Thibodeau, I play with all of them in the summer and have for years, know them pretty well. So I'll start off with Bill, the big righty senior. He's a big right-handed guy. He's good because him and Brady, they both want to get to the right, but they can go left, so you can't just blatantly overplay him as you might say a basketball point guard with no left hand. They can go left, but they want to come back to the right. One frustrating thing about Bill is imagine a slasher in basketball, but if you do not respect his ability to shoot, he will shoot over you. That is him, and he can shoot the lights out of the ball. So that's a frustrating thing when you guard Bill. It's like, I've got to get into this big physical guy who wants to lower his shoulder and use all probably 205-ish pounds he has.
He's a load, man. He's a load.
He gets going. Force equals mass times acceleration is Bill Felding's favorite thing in the world. He's a big boy and he eats them. But no, he gets the spots he wants to get to well, and he'll let the ball fly and shoots it really well. That's the hard thing about him. And you get Brady Saba, who even as a freshman last year was able to deal with the physicality of high school lacrosse and almost kind of embrace it. The good thing with Brady is Brady can get to like his top speed, and if you throw anything with your stick, you just throw your stick out there, he's running through it. And so you really have to like slide to your body with him, and even then he'll eat a lot of that contact as well. The one thing with Brady has a good outside shot, but he has really good hands on the inside. He finishes well, kind of like slashers in basketball when they get up around the rim and they can just make stuff happen. That's him inside. We've had times where we've had two defenders and he can just get his hands free for a second and flick his wrists and score. Mm-hmm. He's a pretty good player. And then he does really well off the ground. He picks up a lot of ground balls. He has, I believe, triple-digit ground balls this year, which is absolutely insane. He's a very good player, and you'll say his name a lot in the next 2 years, 100%. And then Sam Thibodeau on the left side as a lefty. He's been a midfielder, been an attackman. I think they run him at attack just because if you put him with Bill and Brady, it's really hard to guard. You can't focus or key off of one because the other two will kill you. But he just brings a little bit of the dynamic of, okay, as Bill and Brady come from the right, he's right there. He can catch and shoot, or he can catch and re-attack. You can't hedge your defense one way because he'll make you pay. And then a lot of times people probably, I would say honestly, wouldn't give him the respect he deserved as an offensive player. Instead, maybe put a short stick on him or their third defenseman. And like he's got a good change of direction and can get his hands free and shoot. And so probably teams don't respect him enough because you have to deal with Felding and you have to deal with Brady Saba, but he's a very good third option. No one in South Carolina would complain about having Sam Thibodeau as a third option, and he's really not a third option, but it's just that's the way people play him because of the numbers that Saba and Felding put up. But no, that's a very well-balanced attack group, and that's like when you scout Hilton Head High, we got to stop this attack. The defense is good. They have a pretty good goalie, but it's stop the offense first. Definitely for playing them. That's probably AC Florida.
Yeah, it's kind of I mean, you have to pick your poison, right? Like you can only choose a couple of them that you're going to try to neutralize, and they're willing to let the other guy beat you. You know, I mean, and they've proven that they can so far. So what do you think about their matchup with AC Flora tonight?
I think their matchup with Flora is pretty good for them. Flora, traditionally a pretty good power. They like to play a little bit faster and play. They like to run in transition a lot. I think that'll help with Hilton Head's defense, like to pack it in, play like a really man-to-man, but almost like zoned up, like a matchup zone almost. Like they play very tight. They'll allow a lot of outside shots, allow their goalie to make saves. I think that works. Flora rides very well. It's a lacrosse version of a full court press. So Hilton Head needs to clear the ball pretty well. I would say definitely that'll be an interesting aspect of the game. But then Flora has a massive goalie. I believe the kid's about 6'5". So I wouldn't be surprised if Flora tried to just pack it in and almost trying to sort of zone. And if you see that, I'd expect a lot of goals out of Bill Felding and Brady Saba. Just, okay, they have a zone. Screw it. I'm just going to shoot the ball really as hard as I can before they can get to my hands. That's a good matchup for them. I think that'll be a good game tonight.
Well, it was a classic last year. Hilton Head was down about 3 goals and scored 3 in the last few minutes to tie it. And then, of course, Flora scored at the very end to win that one. So heartbreaking. So that adds more fuel to the fire for Hilton Head this time around. So I expect to be another battle over there. Unfortunately, they'll have to be on the road this time at AC Flora. But you guys are home and taking out a Bishop England team that you just saw a few days ago. How important is it to be able to have that, that film and that scouting to help you prepare for a playoff matchup like this?
I think it's incredibly helpful. I mean, obviously, you're going to know who players are through the grapevine, through knowing them. South Carolina lacrosse is not a big community. You know who good players are. But it's, okay, how do they utilize these players? What do they want to do? What do the guys maybe you wouldn't know about do? And then, obviously, all that film is great. The big thing is you make an angry team when you beat somebody. And when you have an angry team in the playoffs, Mayor River, I'll call it what we are, we're a senior-heavy team. And it's guys that, okay, either we win or we no longer get to play high school sports. It's a good bit of motivation. So I think the film is definitely helpful. The knowledge of all of our defensemen are probably going to be guarding the same guy they guarded 2 weeks ago. They learn tendencies. We know how they want to run their offense, how they want to run their defense. We know what they're going to do on face-offs. We know how they do everything. We know this, and then, oh, by the way, we don't like these guys. That's the polite way to say it, basically.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting when you have that kind of situation. I think it's an advantage, like with the matchup being as close as it is. I think it's an advantage to have lost the recent matchup, just from a motivation standpoint, because it's not like you were overmatched. You lost by 1 goal. Like a different story if you lost, 10-2 or something. But in an 11-10 game or whatever it was, I think you're on the right end of that. And then ultimately it comes down to who makes the best adjustments, right? Because you've both seen what you can exploit, and now which team is able to adjust to their weaknesses and shore them up in the rematch. So kind of a little bit of a chess match in addition to a lacrosse game. I'll give you a chance to brag on little brother a little bit. How about that outing against Colleton the other night? I think it was 3 scoreless to lock it down.
Yes, sir. So 3 scoreless innings. His first at-bat of the season. It was a double. It was a hard ground ball, third baseline. He claims to hit the ball pretty hard. I wasn't there to see it, but he ended up getting a double. And then, in his words, he was G-hacking on the second at-bat, knowing it would probably be his last at-bat of the year, swinging for the fences, and he missed it. So 1 for 2, and we'll probably end up going 500 on the year, 2 at-bats, though. But I'm incredibly proud of him. For my teammates all know, so my family was at the game, and they heard Max was pitching. The playoff game was pretty much over. So my entire family, except for my mom, left to go watch him pitch, and then he got to hit. And so my mom comes up and says, Max got his first at-bat of the year. And then I found out what happened. She goes, he hit a double. I went insane. My entire team saw it. They thought something was wrong. I was so excited for him. But no, it's awesome to see him play and get to watch him pitch and compete and see just the progression he's made the last couple of years as an athlete, as a person. And I think high school sports have really helped him build new brotherhoods, build a brotherhood, and gain friends that he'll have for life through high school baseball. It's awesome. I'm super proud of him. He's an awesome kid.
Yeah, gotta be cool to have that, relationship with your brother and to be rooting each other on. That's really special. Well, you've been playing lacrosse for a number of years. Tell me about how the sport has grown and how it's kind of evolved these last few years that you've been around the Lowcountry, and how some of these players have gotten better, and how things have maybe kind of changed.
Absolutely. I think the difference now is it's used to be teams of football players that maybe you'd have one or two guys played lacrosse before, and if you were lucky, you got a football player who started freshman year, and as a senior, they had a decent stick, and now it's consistent teams of 5, 6, 7, even starting lineups of guys who all played lacrosse for a long time and understand the game. It's become a lot more skilled and a lot less hitting one another with the side of trying to score goals. So I think that's one of the big changes. I think in the next couple years, with the building of the youth programs and teams at lower levels, you'll see a lot more skill, a lot more guys who it's contributing as freshmen and sophomores. And the beautiful thing now is with I'll speak on Mayor Ver, that's what I know. Our issue with our 8th graders now is, okay, their stick skills are great. They could play they could play stick skills wise. It's getting used to the physicality of, yes, you have big humans trying to hit you. And so, and you might take some hits. The guys are strong. And so it's no longer, okay, this guy is super athletic. We can't play him because he can't pass and catch, or he can't pass and catch this speed. They can pass and catch this speed. It's just getting them used to the physicality, letting them hit puberty, letting them grow a little bit. So it's a good problem to have, where it's just we have players that are physically able to pass and catch and have the skills that are ready. I think that's the big transition. It's now becoming more of a stick skills game. It's being able to run a team offense when you have 6 players who can pass and catch, as opposed to some of the old, okay, we've got 2 guys who can go, we're going to run ISOs all day on the defense guy. So it's being able to play team offense, being able to game plan change from game to game. Once you reach a level of everyone understands what's going on, we can tweak this and that to adjust for the teams we're playing, instead of we have to do this because that's all we know. I think that's
it's a different game now than it was when I got here in 2005. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, you say ISO all day. That's all it was. It was, there were a couple kids who knew what they were doing, and they gave them the ball and they tried to score, and that was all you saw. But it has definitely evolved, and you guys and Hilton Head are both tons of fun to watch. I mean, I love watching that Hilton Head attack, and Saba is just so slippery, man. He gets through traffic. He keeps the stick close to his body. He's so compact, and is able to just control it and slip through traffic. And like you said, get off a shot with just any amount of space. So, and then fielding, you fear for your life when he when he rears back. So it's been a lot of fun to watch. Best of luck tonight. You want to shout out any other May River athletes that are showing out this spring? I mean, you got your finger on the pulse over there. Is anybody we've been missing? I know McKenna Swinton just committed to Claflin for track and field, so that's good stuff. Anything else we're missing?
Yes, sir. I don't want to exclude anyone. So
yeah, I shouldn't put you on the spot like that.
I don't want to say like 1 or 2 names and then just have someone slip off the back of my mind. And I'm like, oh, I've forgotten X or Y. No, I think a lot of our sports teams are having pretty good years. It's looking like, I believe, boys soccer's making the playoffs. They're pretty good. I'll shout out Coach Misa Garzon. He's awesome. Love him to death. There is no better trash talker in the Lowcountry. I put him up against anybody immediately. He's awesome. Girls soccer.
If you don't believe us, watch the Lowco FC podcast, and Misa's barrels of fun.
Misa's so much fun, and the best part is, imagine if you get him off the camera and you just shoot like one little quip at him, make fun of some tiny little thing about him, some like an irrelevant detail, and the trash talk is insane. It's reached the point where it's not there. I can't tell all the stories, but there are stories of soccer players who make one joke. Misa doesn't look at him, responds, and the dude is just like demoralized and out of practice.
Yeah, he'll go right for your soul. Right for your soul.
He will. Yes, there were plans to do a trash talking lesson with Coach Misa, just more of call it a mental toughness lesson. A mental toughness lesson with Coach Misa. to just understand, like, hey guys, when you've reached the teams that are a little more mean, here's what you got to deal with. And he's the epitome of that. He's an awesome guy. I love him to death. The baseball coaching staff, I see them a lot. Love them to death. Coach Schmidt, Coach Ned Mullis, a regular on the podcast. Love him to death.
Yeah,
good.
You go.
Softball's playing tough, man. They're young, but they're playing tough.
They're doing well. Casey Lang is a monster.
Oh,
he's awesome.
Beast.
I go watch some of the games, and it's just like, okay, what kind of extra base hit is this going to be?
Yeah.
2 triples last night.
Every ball
against Hilton Head. Yeah, 2 triples last night. She takes some violent hacks, man. Oof, so good.
She does. She's incredibly powerful. She's awesome.
You got anything else for Brooks West before we let him get on with his day and start getting ready for game day?
Well, we're talking about what you were just saying. Who are some of the guys that talk the biggest game on the lacrosse field? Who are the go-to guys in that department?
Oh, the go-to trash talkers? Easy. Defensive midfielder, or two-way midfielder now, number 45, Thomas Raish. Once talked trash to a guy so bad, the guy took his stick and swung it like a baseball bat at Raish's helmet. And being the mental athlete he is, immediately steps back. Mr. Official, I did nothing wrong. So that's a good one. Number 28, Zach Beasley down at the defense.
Yeah.
Just a constant. It's not super bad, but it's constant. It's always there. Every time you do something, he's talking to you. God forbid you mess up. He lives rent-free in people's heads. I would say those are the main two. Defense, easier to talk trash to. The defensive end, easier to talk trash to the offensive end. I would say those two definitely lead us, especially on the field trash talk. They're known to get in guys' heads and take players, if not entire lines of players, out of the game. Because there are a couple people that we've almost been trying to get them to talk more trash. Like, hey, say something. One of the things in practice is we have a good move against a player who we know you're like kind of friendly with. It's like we stop the drill, we make you say something to him, and sometimes it's like, good job. It's like, guys, it's not what we're going for here. You need to work on this.
Some of the guys a little too nice, huh?
A little too nice, absolutely, yes, sir.
Any opponents who talk good trash?
Any opponents who talk good trash
from the Lowco?
I'll give a shout out to someone who talks good trash. The Thibodeau brothers are known to talk good trash. They're good competitive guys. A couple of Hilton Head guys. Hilton Head Maver rivalry is always heated.
Yeah.
And that's a good trash talk. But it's also like, yeah, I talk trash to you, but I'm going to go play with you this summer, so I can't.
Yeah, well, that's the best trash talk. The best trash talk is among the guys who have a good enough relationship to endure it and understand it's just mental part of the game. It's not personal. It's when you don't know the guy that it can get kind of sideways.
Oh, absolutely. The best part is the stalking of the Instagrams before sporting events. It's like, I know. God. Oh, there's one more name I forgot. Junior Jake Ridgway has been known to find the most minute details about human beings and then bring them up randomly, more so into confusion than anything else. Like, what? How do you know that? And then he'll walk away. He's more of the mention this thing and then walk away kind of guy. So that's the good ones that guys are like, wait, what? How on earth did she know that? And then all of a sudden the ball's coming out of the field. He's running after something and you're 2 steps behind because you're busy thinking about some random detail.
How's your dog doing? She recovering from that surgery?
Oh, see you, bye. It's like, wait, what? Yeah, there's a couple random things like that you'll get.
That sounds about right for Ridgway. Yeah, his mom might be helping him find the deets and scout people or something. She's a character.
I could see Miss Michelle doing that. She's awesome.
She's funny, man. She's all right. But well, thanks a lot, man. We appreciate you. We know you're in the middle of the school day and it's game day, so you got to get your mind right and all that stuff. But thanks for hopping on with us, and I'm going to try to get over to the tank tonight and see you guys continue on to the semifinals. So we'll talk with you soon, Brooks.
Sounds great. Thank you, sir. You have a great day.
All right, we're going to hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with more here on the Lowco Sports Lowdown.
Hey, Lowco sports fans. This podcast and all of our grassroots local sports content are made possible by support from community sponsors, including Mickelson Law Firm, the official real estate attorneys of Lowco Sports, and the presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. Our original sponsors are still among our greatest supporters. Ryan and Tiffany Mickelson are community pillars who will be in your corner no matter your legal needs. When you need legal representation, call on the attorneys who support Team Lowco. Call Mickelson Law Firm. Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, the official hospice provider of Lowco Sports, and the only not-for-profit hospice in southern Beaufort County. For more than 30 years, the committed, compassionate staff at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry have been there to ensure your loved ones find comfort, honor, and dignity at the end of life. Because at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, it's not about dying, it's about living. Homegrown Home Inspections, the official home inspectors of LowcoSports. Jan Lucas and his team provide thorough, detailed home inspections aimed to ensure everyone goes into the transaction with open eyes and confidence. Jan would rather reveal an inconvenient truth than look the other way and provide reassurances that could come back to burn the buyer in the long run. If you're looking to buy or sell a home and need an honest, reliable inspector, call on Homegrown Home Inspections, official sponsors of LowcoSports. DDS Web Design, official SEO experts of LowcoSports. If your business or organization has a website and you're trying to figure out what SEO is, you need to call on Denise and Dave Sinkovich at DDS Web Design. They'll provide a free consultation and do all the behind-the-scenes work to boost your search engine optimization and get your website found online so you can take your business to the next level. DDS Web Design, official SEO experts of LowcoSports. American Wood Reface, sustaining sponsors of LowcoSports. Does your kitchen need a facelift? Before you start picking out new cabinets, give Ben and the team at American Wood Reface a shot. They can reface your existing cabinets to overhaul your aesthetic without the hefty price tag and reimagine your kitchen at a price point you can manage. Be sure to tell them Lowco sent you because every referral helps support LowcoSports. 4M Metals, sustaining sponsor of LowcoSports. Got metal? Your roof might need it. Metal roofing advantages include better energy efficiency, weather protection, longevity, a more aesthetically pleasing design, and the product is all green. So if you've been thinking about a new roof, go metal. Let 4M Metals be the difference in your roof. Jay's Barbershop. It's the talk of the town and the place to be in Ridgeland. If you need your ears lowered, head over to Jay's for a fresh cut and great conversation with good folks. And tell them Lowco sent you. Local Pie, official pizza sponsor of LowcoSports. They sling some of the best pies in the Lowco, and my kids say the mac and cheese is the best around. Hungry? Hit up Local Pie, longtime supporter of LowcoSports. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry, the official floor cleaners of LowcoSports.com. If your feet tell you your floors need cleaning, call on Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. They provide residential and commercial services, including cleaning carpet and area rugs, tile and grout, upholstery, curtains and drapes, mattresses, and more. But most importantly, they'll get those floors so clean, your feet will thank them. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. Hilton Head Prep is a sustaining sponsor of LowcoSports, and we tell you all about the Dolphins' athletic exploits. But did you know it's also the #1 ranked private K-12 school in Beaufort County and ranks in the top 2.5% of schools nationwide? Visit hhprep.org to see what Hilton Head Prep has to offer. Beaufort Academy is a sustaining sponsor of LowcoSports, and we love covering the Eagles. With a student-to-faculty ratio of 7-1 and an average class size of 14 students, Beaufort Academy could be just the educational solution you're looking for, with more one-on-one attention. BA has a strong history of working with the whole child to prepare each student for college and life. Check them out at BeaufortAcademy.org. Thank you to all of our sustaining and supporting sponsors for their support of LowcoSports.com. Go Lowco.
All right, welcome back on the LowcoSports Lowdown live on a Friday morning. Justin Jarrett joined by Wes Kerr. And how great is Brooks Van Esselstyn? He is, I told him already over text, he's potential guest co-host material because he's like the dream guest. He can talk thoughtfully on a range of subjects, and you know, it's hard to find people who can do that. So always great talking with him. He's a pleasure, and you know, just a tremendous young man and student athlete, and have really enjoyed following his career and getting to know him.
He's incredible. What a fantastic student athlete. I mean, the total combination. And I'm trying to pull up a lineup here for the next segment, but I'll have to put it up later. But yeah, just a fantastic young man, and just so impressed by his knowledge and ability to just, you know, talk about a subject in such a big depth and in such depth like that. You know, especially like the inside baseball of lacrosse and scouting these players and all the terminology that is associated with what he does on the field. You don't see that with every player, with every athlete. It's special. He is such a dedicated kid. Obviously, winning that scholarship, National Merit Scholarship, that's an enormous honor. We've talked about how difficult it is to achieve that, and I don't remember many other students getting to that point. So enormous accomplishment for him and for that member of our school, and he's going to be missed in so many ways over there with the Sharks after this year. But man, I'm excited for him. I'm excited for that member team to be at home in front of their home crowd, and I think I expect them to pull this one out and advance to the semifinals against Bishop England.
I do too, and I think Hilton Head's got a great shot too. They're on opposite sides of the bracket, so they couldn't meet until the state championship. But I think they both have a great shot to be in the semis, and then who knows? It's one game at that point, and we could get a little rematch. So it'd be good times. It was a really good match the first time. So. But to shift gears a little bit, we've got a new basketball coach, boys basketball coach at Bluffton High School. Woody Melton was the coach last year for one season, and now they're going in a different direction. And I had the opportunity to meet the new coach yesterday, Bradley Gabriel. He's coming from North Carolina, where he has had a ton of success, and got a little bit of his personal background talking with him after we cut off the camera, and we'll play a little clip with him here later on. But coached at Legacy Charter for a long time up in the Charlotte area, won a state championship there, played for another state championship. One of the big points on his resume was he took over a program early in his career that was 0-24 and won 19 games his first season. So, that's the kind of thing that when you're trying to kind of rebuild your program and starting from the ground up, that's the kind of thing you're looking for. And it seems like Bradley Gabriel is the kind of guy who can do that. You always wonder, like, you had so much success. What changed? In 2021, he had always kind of dreamed of taking a shot at coaching in college. He got an opportunity as an assistant, found that the hours and the grind on the road was just a little bit too much for him at that point in life as a father and husband, and decided to step back from that and go back to just teaching in high school. Obviously missed the coaching aspect, and so they started looking for a new start on that front. Had some tragedy, lost his son in a motorcycle accident, and that kind of prompted them to look for a new start elsewhere. And they end up here in the Lowcountry. So we'll hear a little bit from Bradley Gabriel here, and then we'll discuss our thoughts on this hire at Bluffton, which I think is going to be a good one.
All right, Coach Gabriel, welcome, first of all, to the Lowcountry, to Bluffton High School. Tell me a little bit about how excited you are for this opportunity.
Really excited about being here in Bluffton. I think the opportunity to grow a great program and sustainability is tremendous here, which was one of the reasons that kind of drew my attention to this area. Bluffton is awesome. Coach Stewart. It's looking forward to being a part of the sports program and just building a program from pretty much from the scratch for me, and seeing where this thing goes. And I told the kids earlier that I'm really excited to see their growth. They get an opportunity to be a part of the establish themselves as far as the program, and then grow it and kind of see where it goes. And they'll be the first to for me. Be the first kind of the team or class that'll kind of grow this and see where it kind of goes. But really excited to be here, be a part of Bluffton, the community, and just ready to get to work a little bit.
And you're coming from North Carolina, correct? And
yes, sir.
Have a good bit of experience up that way?
Yes, this is my 20th year coaching, and so I've had a pretty good run in North Carolina. Just had some success, and really known to take teams and really grow them and grow really good programs, and kind of leave them, if I head a different direction, kind of leave them in a better position than where they were at. So I've had a really good career, but I've had really good players, and we just, we work hard and we create a family atmosphere, and that's kind of what it's all about.
What do you know about the area and the basketball in the area, and where do you see yourself fitting into it?
Yeah, that's what I was just talking to the coaches about, the area. I know the Hilton Head and May River and all these guys are pretty decent, pretty good, pretty solid. But I think we're in a good situation where I think we can have some success in this conference and really grow it. But I know there's a lot of golf in this area, so that's a draw for me. I'm joking, but we were talking earlier about the golf, and so that's why I said that. But But just excited to be here. I know the couple Charleston teams. We actually used to play, I think it's James Island up into Charleston. So when I was at Hopewell in Charlotte. So I'm familiar with some of the teams in this area, and just excited to be a part of it and ready to get to work and grow the program.
So, guy, a lot of experience and, seems to have, the right mentality. I'm excited.
Yeah, close-knit family atmosphere. We've seen that be the key for so many successful coaches here in the Lowco and beyond. And the track record speaks really well. He went 197-40 over an 8-year span, and he won a state championship. We went 31-3 a couple of years back in 2017. So strong track record at the high school level. Love the way that he commits himself to growing his team and improving, those young men both on and off the court. It just looks like an overall fantastic young man developer in many different ways of that word. So I'm very excited to meet him, talk with him personally. But I think it's a very, very good hire for Bluffton, and this continuing a string of some good ones, starting with Hayden Gregory over on the football side. And I think this Bluffton athletic program is doing a good job, identifying quality talent, bringing them in, and finding success. Of course, you got Bluffton football team getting back to the playoffs. And you look at this basketball team, of course, a big loss in Jalen Linder, who's definitely it hurts to lose such a prominent figure on that group. But Brandon Bryant, he'll be back. EJ Graham is gone too, but a couple of some young guys who look to step up. It was more of a senior group when you look at Bluffton from last year, but maybe a new coach like this will instill potentially the option for others to transfer in or for others to consider coming over to Bluffton because of the promise with this new coach who has had a great track record elsewhere. So I'm excited about the future of this Bluffton basketball program. I think it's going to, I think a lot of great things are in store. I think the potentials is skyrocketing with this new coaching hire. I think he has a chance to do wonders for this basketball program. And I think it's going to, and another good factor, it's close to USCB, which is, pretty awesome to have that Division II, that college program right next to you for, an opportunity to, gain some ability to see what's out there and kind of, inspire some guys. And I think it's kind of it makes it more, the reputation increases when you have like a college basketball program right next to yours. So I think all that combined, I think it's a great landing spot for him. I think it's a fantastic hire for Bluffton going forward.
Yeah, I think they've done a really good job recently with their hires. Hayden Gregory was, seems to be, we're only a year in, but so far that seems to be going as well as you could hope. This seems like a very good hire. I bringing Kharkov with Gregory was huge. They're supporting their people. And speaking of that, on the hiring front, I think we're getting an announcement today of Battery Creek's new football coach. And if it's, I haven't confirmed it 100%, but it's a guy with head coaching experience, and they've already put out an ad looking for an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator, which shows they're going to support him, let him hire his people. And that is really exciting for me. I know at least one person who was a finalist who didn't get the job, who was also had head coaching experience. So, they attracted a really good candidate pool. And they seem to have gotten the right guy, and they're going to put resources around him. So I'm really excited for football at Battery Creek next year too.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. Be able to support their new hire and to allow him to choose his partners, because those are the guys that will help influence the program with them. And it says a lot about like who you bring with you to help you on that journey as a head coach. So I think Battery Creek's going to bring in someone with some valuable experience, someone who's determined to take over a team that is on the right track, but a team that maybe hasn't been at the level compared to some other schools, but with that underdog mentality and that ability to just work hard and and outwork the rest. And I think Battery Creek, I thought Terrence Ashley did a good job now transitioning to the athletic director role. I think he knows what he's looking for, because he was there himself. So I think he and the the hiring committee is going to do a good job of bringing in the person that's best suited to lead this program in the right direction.
And I think that was a big part of his decision to take the job. I don't think he was necessarily ready to stop being a football coach, but I think he saw that in the best interest of the program, if he took that AD job, he would be able to really understand and relate to the challenges of that football coaching position. And like we've talked about many times, football sets the tone. And if you really want to raise the tide at Battery Creek, then you've got to set the tone with football. And you've got that palace of a stadium now that looks just fantastic, and you've got to take advantage of that momentum that you have with the facility. So, I think Ash was the right man for the football job at the time, and I think he's the right man for the AD job. And I think this hire is going to be pivotal for them. And if they've gotten it right, and he brings in the right guys as his OC and DC, the sky's the limit there. I really believe that. So excited for that. But let's shift gears back to spring, and we've got some headlines to run through. Hilton Head Prep baseball sweeping region rivals. They finished up undefeated in the region, taking down Hilton Head Christian and JP2. Colleton County softball swept May River. They got a fight in that second game, 10-8, and then they routed Battery Creek last night, I believe. So they're rolling on. James Island girls soccer got revenge against Bluffton. They won bigger than they lost, so Bluffton going to drop to the 3 seed in that region. Buford's boys 6-1 in region play, shut out Hanahan. They have a rematch tonight at home. And then the girls also swept Hanahan. So they are going to be the 2 seed in the region. Buford boys can lock up the 1 seed with a win tonight. And Buford golf 3rd in the Class 3A rankings, looking good. They had a nice win the other day. Jerry Brunn shot 33 the other day, which is awesome. What stands out to you there?
Yeah, that golf team has been Buford as a whole has had a tremendous. You just say football season sets the tone. I mean, win a state championship, and everybody's been kind of wanting to follow in their footsteps after that. But yeah, great season by golf so far. Jerry Brunn's been a guy I've talked about for a number of years as standout on the course, and a nice 33 there, and that past event 9-hole score. So he's been continued to be red hot for the Eagles squad. And 3rd, I mean, of course, this is their first year in Class 3A. They were formerly Class 4A, so maybe provides them a great opportunity for them to make some noise in that classification, look to bring home the title. So got to think Buford's going to be right in the mix there. And 3A boys golf, a tough one for Bluffton. I knew that James Island was going to come out with some revenge in that girls soccer match, and tough to see them fall short. But just getting in the playoffs is the important thing there. It is, like I said, it's a battle. I think it's been either May River, Hilton in that last spot. So Hilton they're running out of time. They got to get some wins over there for that's a must-win game against May River in that rematch for them. Then we'll probably decide that final playoff spot between those 2 squads. So we'll see what happens with that. But Bluffton looking pretty solid. Had a tough ending last year, trying to make it a little better this time around. And any of these teams can go on a run to win a state championship. They're all very, very talented. And 1 game sample size, you never know. But Hilton Prep baseball really impressed me. A couple of nice wins. Nearly let one slip away against Christian Academy, but ended up winning 7-5. And then took care of business at JP2. Colleton County, man, that offense is raking. We just talked to Bailey Cox on the Diamond Dude show yesterday. So if you missed that, we'll probably have her back on again. Had some technical issues, but great to talk to her. And and Buford boys soccer. I mean, we haven't really talked about that much, but another Buford High team exceeding expectations so far over there in their 3A region. And a nice shot for Hanahan trying to get the sweep here in the season series. So great stuff over there. And lacrosse playoffs going on tonight. Hilton Head, we mentioned Hilton Head at EC Flora, and May River Sharks host Bishop England.
Yeah. Yes. I'm glad you mentioned Beaufort boys soccer because they've flown under the radar. But they're a really quality squad. I love Coach Rollins. That's Misa's mentor. That's just kind of him. He flies under the radar. He's just kind of a low key guy. He doesn't get too worked up, but keeps it even keel. But they're having a great season. And then you got to go to Hilton Head Prep yesterday for signing day, which is always a highlight. And we've got a clip of the kids signing. So we'll play interviews that you have with Andrew Helms and Kane Eanes here in a minute. But tell us about all the signees over at HHP.
Yeah, it was a great day. 7 student athletes putting pen to paper and signing with Hilton Head Prep. It's one of the most fun days of the year. You get the winter, the fall, and the spring signing days. It's great to see all the other students there too. To watch it unfold and get inspiration. But we got to the big names, the 2 basketball players, Kane Eanes, state champion for Hilton Head Prep. He's going to Bob Jones, and then as we mentioned before on the podcast, Andrew Helms going to USCB as that program gets off the ground, first ever year for that Sand Shark team coming up in November in this fall, and Helms is going to be a part of it. So how cool is that for us and for him? Cannot wait to see him over there as a Sand Shark, and then a couple other signees as well. Bobby Bart playing tennis at Western University, Foster Edwards playing tennis at Missouri Baptist, Haley Klinger, soccer player, going to Lise McCrae, William Tabrake from sailing, going to Texas A&M Galveston, and then Jake Young, tennis player, going to the United States Naval Academy. So congratulations to all 7 of those signees. A couple, academy players and other, specialization, other sports that we don't talk about as much, but still a big honor for all of them to achieve that big goal and get into to play their sport and continue their athletic and academic career at the next level.
Yeah, and I don't know much about college sailing, but I'm going to guess Texas A&M Galveston is a pretty good place to go for college sailing. I'm going to say they're right up there. But a couple other signees at Hilton Head Christian, Jada Grayson going to Shaw University to play basketball. Outstanding career with the Eagles, winning all those state championships. What is it, 5 in a row now? Is that what we're up to, or
Yeah.
4? 5,
I believe.
Yeah, it's outrageous. I can't even keep track of them anymore. And then Noah Kaufman also signing for cross country at Presbyterian. So congrats to all of them. And like I said, you caught up with the 2 basketball signees from Hilton Head Prep. So let's hear first from Kane Eanes, who is going to Bob Jones University.
Kane Eanes, congratulations. Describe this moment being officially signed with Bob Jones.
It's great. I'm very excited.
The audio is not too good.
Tell me about what went into making the decision.
Well, first of all, I had to look into local school, set up my play style, and where I would play the most on the court, and then also just,
We're a little muffled there. We'll see if we can hear Andrew Helms a little bit better. Going to be a Sand Shark.
Andrew Helms, officially a USCB Sand Shark. How are you feeling now? It's official.
I feel good. How special is it to join a program?
Man, a few words.
Off the ground this
Yeah.
Yeah, something a little muffled on the mic there, but no worries.
Yeah.
No worries. But you can kind of summarize what they said for us, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty excited. Just a lot of quality words for their teammates at senior class, alongside Sean Cusano. What a terrific class that was to end their career and win that state title. So a lot of memories made over there with the Dolphins, and very excited to see what they do at that next level, especially Andrew Helms, to be able to be part of a new program. You don't really get the experience like that. Most of these students to be that first group at a new program, and gives you a lot of opportunity. So really excited for that with Andrew Helms, a player that really impressed me coming over the prep, start at HHGA, really blossomed with Coach Jerry Faulkner. A lot of kind words for him as well, who was also at the signing day. So great to see that Jerry's doing well, still around here in the Lowco, and I'm sure he's got to be proud of both of them.
Well, he's up in Charlotte now, so he must have made the trip down, just for the signing day, which is terrific to see. And, he's always been a guy who's had ongoing relationships with his players. I remember when he first got here, he had, now I'm trying to remember who it was. One of his former players who was in the NBA at the time came back. Anthony Morrow came back and did a little clinic for kids and talk for kids at Hilton Head Christian Academy when he was there. So, he's always had those long-term relationships, and that's great to see him, that he's well enough to be able to get down here and celebrate with those guys. So, I talked to Fudala a little bit about Helms, and he's really excited, just, said culture guy, great kid, great family, local, just the kind of guy you want to have in your program, and they're excited to keep him home and keep him on campus for him. So congrats to all on their signings, and many more to come, I'm sure, this spring. And if we've missed you, make sure you hit us up and let us know so we can give you a little shout out on here, because definitely want to shout out all those kids going on to the next level. And speaking of which, a bunch of dudes from the next level are going to be coming to the island again this summer. They always do. It's coming up in May. I don't have the dates right in front of me, but it's in May. Registration just opened through Island Rec Center. The All-American Football Camp coming back. BJ Payne always puts together an all-star lineup, and the headliner is always going to be Poona Ford for as long as that dude is playing football. But he's got a bunch of former Clemson stars, a bunch of Ohio State guys already committed, and he always has more names to add to the list as we get closer. So, and you never know who's going to show up. Sometimes these guys just show up with other guys in tow.
And also a couple of former Lowco stars too. Gaston Moore, who's making kind of a nice name for himself at Tennessee, I believe he's still over there.
Yep.
And then Jalen Sneed over at Notre Dame, like great finish to his first year. So a couple of former Hilton High standouts alongside some big names as well, like Dexter Lawrence, I believe will be there, a former Clemson standout. So cool to see that. Man, what a treat it is for those kids to be a part of that, and to see some of the best players right now, in the NFL, alongside some players who, made it happen from the Lowcountry. Of course, Poona Ford, who's still, we're still waiting to hear where he signs, and still a free agent, I believe, at this moment. But, sources saying that the Seahawks are trying to get him back, trying to work out a deal with him. So we'll see what happens there. But great to see Poona, always giving back to the Lowco and all the support he's given throughout these years. And they love him down here. We love him, and great. Just an amazing moment for these kids to be inspired and see some of these role models right alongside them on the same field as them.
Yeah, it's so cool. And I was trying to pull up the information on it. It's May 19th through 21st for grades kindergarten through 8th grade. You can register on the Island Rec Center website. Going to be a terrific event. And, Poona, like you said, always the centerpiece of it, sort of, and going to be interesting if he has not signed by then. We might get some media circus out here to try to figure out what's going on with Poona. But it sounds like the Seahawks are doing everything they can. They want to keep him there. He seems to have had a good tenure there. So, the longer it goes on, the more I think he's staying put. But we'll see. I don't know. A lot of people after him, and you only get one guaranteed shot to pick where you want to go. So you got to put a lot of thought into it. And he's always been a guy who's been thoughtful, and he took his time making his decision initially, chose Louisville, and then didn't even hesitate to say, hold up, I got to back up off of this and think about it again, because the situation has changed, and ended up at Texas. So he's always been, thoughtful. And I think a lot of credit goes to the people in his corner too, folks at Octagon and BJ and everybody on his team. They've really helped him get a good understanding of the business side of this, and that, how to be smart about it and approach it in a thoughtful way, and make sure you take full advantage of it. And he's a smart guy, man. He's done a good job of managing it all and staying on track. So really proud of him. And you definitely want to get signed up and go learn about football from Poona Ford and the rest of these guys. It's going to be outstanding. All right, just a few minutes left, Wes. Let's do some Lowco shout outs. Who you want to give love to today?
For my athlete, I'm going to go with one of those big three we talked about on lacrosse field. Brady Saba, 7 goals, 6 assists, 5 ground balls, absolute monster performance. The Seahawks down Beaufort 20-5 to clinch their spot in the second round of the lacrosse playoffs. Clinical victory by the Hilton Head team that is firing all cylinders right now. And I think they're going to have AC Flores' number this time. It's going to be a great rematch of last year. I expect to go down the wire once again, but I think Hilton's going to have that fuel falling a bit short, and I just see that top couple guys are just clicking right now. Going to be hard to stop. You mentioned that pick your poison mentality. Somebody's going to find a way to beat you. So going to be hard to stop the Seahawks team this time around. So I'm going to go with Brady Saba for my athletes, and then for my team of the week, Hilton Head Prep baseball squad. Got to see live in action a day ago, and despite the close nature of the Hilton Head Christian Academy game, I'm just really impressed with that the team as a whole, the ability to get on base, find ways to move runners over, just the attentiveness and the hard work, scrappiness of this group. Chris Wells, he can coach baseball. He's been doing this a long time. He knows how to instill those qualities in these kids, these young men, and to just lift them to a new level. So we'll never count this Hilton Head Prep squad as they get ready for another postseason run. But nice win over Hilton Head Christian Academy, and then took care of business against JP2. And what I expect to be a close game, because I was liking the way that the Golden Warriors were playing, but 13-1 run rule victory over the Golden Warriors. Connor Campbell doing the job, getting the complete game on the mound, 5 innings, just give up that 1 run, struck out 2. Good job pitching to contact, and then another nice day for a couple of Dolphin hitters, and Jackson Senior going 3 for 4, driving in 4, and Peyton Bullock, on base percentage, climbing a couple of walks, and drove in a 3 RBI base hit. So excellent game for Bullock, and could be either the drive-in runs or could have bases loaded walk. Either way, he had 3 RBIs. So a productive day nonetheless for Bullock. And I just love the way this team is playing. And a very nice day, clean. You always love to see that 0 in the air column. That's a nice.
Yes.
It shows you're doing well defensively. So all around, excellent performance these last few games for Hilton Head Prep, and a team that's it's going to be a tough out in the playoffs.
Well, and that's how they're built. If they don't make mistakes, if they don't walk people and they don't make errors, they're really tough to beat. But if they do, they're pretty ordinary, and they know that. They know that they have to do the little things well, do simple well, and they pitch to contact. They throw fastballs in the zone for the most part. They don't throw a ton of chase pitches or waste pitches. They want to be efficient because they know they don't have a ton of depth as far as arms, so they've got to be efficient, pitch to contact, play defense. So when they make errors, the pitching to contact doesn't work when you make errors, So that's just the way they're built. They're going to manufacture runs, and if they can get 1 an inning, that's 7, and they think they can hold you to less than 7. So if they play defense, they do, and if they don't, they don't. So that's kind of what's going to take them as far as they can go. They're a very good team. They're a very solid, well-coached team. So I think they've got a shot to do some damage. My shout-outs, I got a couple soccer shout-outs I want to give. Quinn Wilson, 4 straight shutouts in region play now. 2 in a row against Hanahan, 2 in a row against Battery Creek. So she's dealing for those Buford girls. You can never bet against a hot goaltender late in the game or late in the season, right? Hockey or soccer. Yeah. You got a hot goalie. That's a good thing to have. So I'm giving her a shout out. And then the 8th grader, Ashley Brothers, another hat trick last night against JP2. So both games against JP2, they went 3-2 and 3-1, and she's got a hat trick in both of them, and she's in 8th grade. So look out.
And when you talk about a shutout, you don't always, it's not all about praising the goalie. You got to praise the defense in front of the goalie.
100%. They're doing a terrific job. Yeah, yep. They limit the shots, but she is a spider monkey in goal. She's so good. And then as far as teams, I want to throw a little bit of love to the Patrick Henry baseball team. Another shutout last night, 5-0 over Thomas Hayward. And they don't pitch Charlie Sauls every game, y'all, but they still get a bunch of shutouts. It was Hugh Ferry and Chandler Brown who combined on a 2-hitter last night. So that was good stuff. And who's the other team that I was just looking at that I wanted to shout out? I thought I had seen somebody else. No, I guess that was it. I guess those were my shout outs.
Over Hayward, Hugh Ferry getting it done. So they've got a couple of Chandler Brown combining for the shutout. Yep. So two guys getting the load, and then Forrest Ferry going 2 for 3 with a triple. So the Ferry brothers carrying the load there. So a couple of exceptional athletes who have been the stars from football season over the baseball season now for Patrick Henry. And like I said, I want to go see that complex, that field. I've heard good things about that. And
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that on Twitter we were sent a photo of the farm and given a standing invitation to come out anytime, which we didn't need. We already knew we were welcome. The folks at Patrick Henry have been terrific since we started covering them, so we know we're welcome out there. It's just a matter of logistics, getting out there at a time when it fits my schedule. So, but we're definitely coming out to the farm real soon. They got one at home against Hilton and Christian on Monday. That could be a fun one to get out there. But definitely the playoffs, definitely looking to get out to Patrick Henry. So, well, many more snaps to come, hopefully, after this weekend. We got the lacrosse playoffs again tonight. We've got some big soccer games on tap. We got some big baseball and softball games on tap. What else you looking forward to this weekend, Wes? I know we got the Coaches Classic track meet too. That's always
we got it's a lot of key soccer games. Hilton had made River, big one, especially on the girls' side tonight, and then USCB this weekend closing out their home schedule for both baseball and softball. Baseball home against Columbus State, and then softball playing Georgia College. So a couple of big series as they start to tune up and get ready for their last shot at the NAIA postseason.
All right. Yeah. So going to be a busy weekend. I'm coaching baseball all day down in Brunswick Saturday, but I got Sunday off to hopefully catch my breath and get caught up on what happened over the weekend. And we'll be back next week to get you caught up on everything happening in the Lowco sports scene. Thanks so much to Brooks Van Esselston for jumping in and holding court with us. He's a blast to talk to. Thank you to all of our sponsors who make it possible. If you'd like to join them, hit us up on email at LowcoSports@gmail.com, and we'll get you in the sponsor rotation and make you part of the Team Lowco family. And thanks so much to everybody who tunes in every time to listen and watch. We appreciate you. And until next time, go Lowco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.